pretty much the Carpinteria coastline, starting at the state park and ending at the far end of Carpinteria on the east side of the Bluffs 3 that we have Bluffs 0, 1, 2, and 3. The paintable ones are Bluffs 1 and Bluffs 3. And then there's a space called Tar Pits Park. So I put my easel outside. I don't want to wreck these floors because it has a very sharp points in the legs. And what I did is I made a little bicycle trailer. Not so little, it's pretty heavy. And for the most part, I tried to go and not drive to the places I'm painting. And all these paintings, every one of them, except this one, were painted on location, on the spot. Hey, Chillon. And with the big canvases, I did drive a little just to the parking lot of the Bluffs. This is not going to be me talking all the time. We're going to engage in a conversation, okay? But just to set up what this is about, this is not going to be necessarily just about painting. I want to tell you the two quotes that I included in the invitation. And one is by Robert Enright, who wrote this book, The Art Spirit, that our mentor and spiritual father of the Oak Group, Ray Strong, whoever he met that was an artist, he would share his book with us and say, you have to read this book. And then, of course, we all got copies. And I have about 3 of them. So anyway, the quote that I chose is actually part of 2 quotes, but I was pressing for space. So there are moments in our lives, there are moments to a day when we seem to see beyond the usual, become clairvoyant. We reach into reality. We reach then into reality. Such are the moments of our greatest happiness. Such are the moments of our greatest wisdom. The object isn't to make art. It's to be in that wonderful state which makes art inevitable. Okay. My quote, which is related to this, which explains my intention in the show. For me, attaining that extraordinary moment of existence Robert Enright speaks of means going to nature and painting under the influence of its powerful presence. It also means going back again and again to the 100 acres I love, where the feeling of communion is the strongest. This is a place where I am a happy soul celebrating the colors of light. I didn't say my soul is happy. I'm saying I'm not me. I'm a soul. And okay. So what is that? Is that just not a guy just making paintings, and it's not about the paintings? It's about reaching into what is that makes us tingle, that makes us love, that makes us just alive. You know, there's parts of us that for some reason leave us a little bit less than whole. They fall asleep, or they kind of go away, or they get hurt, or they get shamed, or they get, you know, there's like, makes us kind of go away. And for me, the idea is to go to that place where it's not about any of that stuff, the place where there's a renewal and awakening, and a place where I don't say the world is beautiful, which it is, but I say, you know what? We are beautiful. I am, you are, we are beautiful beings, and that respond to this beauty. know. So if I'm lucky enough to get there, the result might be something pretty cool. Not always, but there's a good chance. I had a very interesting short conversation with somebody who just kind of grabbed me at the reception and said some things that, you know, maybe people feel they don't say. Some people say it very adamantly. He was looking at this painting, and I said, it's the only one that I didn't paint outside, you know, but I went back and I looked many times to see the night, and I, you know, of course I know the place, and it's from that vantage point, it's the trees, it's real, but it's not painted out there, so it's painted from memory and from feeling. And but of course, you know, the clouds were not there, so I started with some shapes, and then I started to, okay, a little more real. They never became real. So for him, that was a step away that he enjoyed, because his statement was that, you know, landscapes are just, he says, I used to like them, but now they're stale. You know, everybody's doing them. You throw a stick in Santa Barbara and you hit a landscape painter. You know, he pointed to that painting and says, I can show you 1,000 paintings like that. You know, so, I mean, he just went on and says, I can talk to you honestly, right? You know, I said, yeah, go for it. Yeah. And no, but really, I mean, he had a point. He wasn't mean. It wasn't an attitude, but he said they're stale. You know, so I go, okay, now let me tell you. And again, I can be honest, and you know, sometimes you gotta think. You know, that does happen to people. You know, we get bored and we get past things, and we want entertainment. We want a little excitement. We want something different. You know, like. And I go, you know, but stale is in the eye of the beholder. You know, maybe you haven't gone back to those places where you felt at one with nature, where you felt the power of nature, where you felt that you know, you and your soul and your spirit were alive, and we're happy to be alive, and we're like, you know, like in love with life, you know. And this show, believe it or not, came at the end of a period where I couldn't paint. I was dormant. I was semi-depressed. You know, I couldn't get out there and feel that I wanted to paint. You know, I mean, I'm telling myself I was like addicted to Facebook for a while. I have a friend here that knows I spent long time with Farmville. You know. Just in another escaping a reality, you know, the beauty, something was missing. And just the deadline and having to come and having to paint, and all of a sudden I found myself, and all of a sudden I was like, you know, this is beautiful, this is gorgeous, this is like, you know, computers have nothing on this. This is just reality. What Robert Enright says, that time when you just clairvoyant and wise, you know, and so thank God that happened. Thank God there's deadlines, and that you have commitments and you have to do paint, and so that awakened me. And you know, the interesting thing, something I heard in a lecture some time ago, really makes sense. You know, aesthetics. The word is highfalutin, you know, but it really is related to anesthesia. Anesthesia is the thing that they put to put you to sleep. Aesthetics is to excite your feeling, your emotion, to awaken you. You know, so I feel that in a way that is the job of an artist. You know, an artist is not just to show you pretty paintings. An artist is to invite you to look at the world in a different way, you know, to feel it strongly, you know. So I think that these paintings tell a story of a love for a place, a an intimacy with a place and a commitment to a place that it goes beyond the painting. It goes that, if somebody wants to destroy it, you're going to stand there and say, no, you're not going to do that. You're going to go do whatever to say, this is such a treasure for us. This is our legacy. This is what our kids will be inspired by. This is what future generations are going to love. And I hope that they don't go dormant, and they just kind of go, okay, well, it's just vacant land, the life force is there, nature is there. And so, anyway, so that's the why and the what. Usually I get painters here and they start asking a lot of the how, and I can go into that. But, okay, where's everybody?
Yeah.
Do you want a question about anything, or do you want to stick on the how?
No,
No?
I actually, I want to